Are you trying to find out how to stand out in an oversaturated market? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your real estate bestie, and today we are going to talk about how can you stand out in an oversaturated market, especially with all this stuff we got going on in real estate. But before we get into it, look, I want you to do two things for me. Number one, like this video, because I'm telling you, I'm going to give you some tips, and it's going to be a little bit of a mindset jolt on this one, because it's really going to help you think about how you're thinking about yourself and how you can stand out in the real estate market. And then I want you to share this video, because sharing is caring, okay? So if you have a real life real estate bestie, go ahead and hit that arrow, share the video with them, because trust me, this is one that you and them need to hear. Okay, bestie, today's question is, how do you stand out as a real estate agent in a saturated market? All right, pull up a chair because we have to have this conversation. I receive this question all the time, and number one, I have actually struggled with it, so I'm not about to sit up here and act like this was not something that I had to overcome. So I completely empathize with those of you who are looking out. You're looking at everybody do their thing. It seems like everywhere you turn, there's another real estate agent, and you're just trying to figure out, how do I stand out? So here is the thing, and I know you have heard this analogy before, but let me just be a broken record and tell you. You know, when you walk down the bread aisle, there are a lot of different breads, right? So many breads. But you probably, I want to talk about you, I'm not talking about anybody else. You probably have a specific type of bread that, although there are 27,000 honey wheats, you know which honey wheat you like and you go to. But here's the thing. Those other honey wheats are not falling off because you don't buy it, because there is somebody who likes that version of the bread. And the thing is that we have to apply that same mentality to us when we are thinking about our value proposition in market and honestly in anything else. And what tends to happen is that if we focus on the wrong things, okay, if we focus on the fact that, yes, there are a lot of real estate agents, and you start to think about, you know, all of the different stuff that they're doing that maybe you aren't doing or you aren't as gifted in, then guess what? It is going to be defeating for your mindset, and it's going to be hard for you to show up exactly as God has created you. So the very first thing that I want to remind you on this here podcast and this YouTube is that you are one of one. What does that mean? That means that you were created in the image and the likeness of God. But He knew you when you were formed in your mama's womb, like I am on here preaching to you, because if He has truly called you, like, you know, this is where you got to be honest with yourself. Am I in real estate because it looked a certain way on the internet because I thought I was going to make a lot of money? Or am I really in this thing because I am being called and this is my purpose? This is where God has me right now. If this is where God truly has you right now, and this is where you're really supposed to be, I don't care how many people are out here doing their thing, you will find the success you're supposed to find. You know, I take that back. You're not just going to find it. You have to first commit to and make the decision to say, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to give 100% of myself in the way that I'm supposed to do it, so that I can attract the right clients and attract the right business to me. So that's like, I just had to get that off my chest. Hey besties, I'm going to interrupt this video because if you are watching my channel, here's what I know about you. You are committed to growing and scaling your real estate business, and I'm here to help you do just that. When I was an elementary school teacher and transitioned over to real estate, I had one big goal, and that was to finally hit 6 figures. Now, at the time, it felt lofty and I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I'm here to tell you that with the right habits and determination, not only can you hit 6 figures, but baby, you can make multiple 6 figures every single year. I have a brand new free ebook to show you the exact habits that I apply in my business and my life every single day. So head on over to rosemarylewis.com/6 SIX, so that you can learn the habits that will get you to 6 figures and beyond in your real estate business. Now, back to the video. Now, here's the next thing though, because there is something very unique about you that is different. And no matter how saturated the market is, once you tap into like what your superpower is and you use that to your benefit, I'm telling you, things are going to take off. I'm thinking about a real estate bestie of mine, right? Fancy Nancy. You all may have seen me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tag her. She has a YouTube channel. She's one of my real life real estate besties. I'm thinking of Fancy Nancy, and like that's her tagline. Like she loves things that are fancy. And Nancy actually is an interior designer. So she is a real estate agent, but she also, like, one of her superpowers is that she is an interior designer. She has an eye for design. She can really help guide her clients, not only on like if they're investors and they're thinking about like doing a full gut rehab or something like that, but even just, you know, if someone's walking in the house and the walls are a certain way or the floors are a certain way, she can bring her gifting of interior design into that interaction. Now, this is where I don't want you to get it twisted, because I know you. Somebody is thinking like, oh, I wish I was good at interior design. Girl, that's Nancy. That's not you. Okay. Unless that is you. If that is you, then that is what you highlight and that's how you stand out. But I'm sure that there's something about you, and you just might not be able to recognize it yet, that would help you stand out in the market. Now, I'm going to tell you about mine, right? Because I would look at all these agents who, you know, they're luxury agents, or somebody like Nancy who does interior design, or somebody who, you know, just is a shark at business. And I would think like, how can I fit in? Because you know what I was doing? I was comparing myself to the people. But then when I thought about it, like, what has God equipped me with, right? And what do I need to highlight? And you know what? It's the fact that I was a teacher. And when I first got into the business, real talk, and this sounds crazy, after all these hundreds of YouTube videos, I actually thought that was my detriment, right? I actually thought I need to actually shy away from the fact that I was trained as a teacher, and I actually have that, like that literally was my gifting, because I didn't know how I would fit into the market. But when I actually embrace the fact that the thing that makes me different from other agents, or maybe some agents have this skill, but they can't do it quite like me, is that I am able to help my clients understand. I'm able to explain things. And look, I even get to explain stuff for agents. Once I stopped trying to fit into the box and I really figured out my gifting, that is what had me stand out. And for years, y'all, like, go back to some of my old YouTube videos. I used to call myself the educator agent, because I was the agent who was educating about the buying and selling process, and I still get to do it. So my point is, I want you to tap into what we call your zone of genius. Maybe your gifting is that, you know what, you have a level of patience, right? Maybe your gifting is that you have an attention for detail. Maybe your gifting is, you know what, just the way that you can show up and bring a deal together, it all happens seamless and you don't miss any pieces. Whatever that is, like, really think about, even outside of your real estate career, what's something that comes natural to you, and then lean into that. And this is the last thing that I'm going to tell you, okay? And like, hear my heart here. Please show up as yourself, because it's really, really easy to recognize phony. And you may think that it has to look a certain way, that I always give a hard time that, if you naturally not the type of person to walk slow in Louboutins, do not do it in your branding photos, right? Do not try to show up. Now, it's one thing to be who you're becoming, but it's a total different thing to emulate something that is not natural to you and is not, it is not congruent with who you are at your core. So I want you to just make sure that as you are developing, as you are growing as a business owner, as a real estate agent, that you fully embrace who you are and do not feel like you have to show up like anybody else in order to be successful in this business. Because again, if God has called you to it, right, everything that you have in you right now is exactly what you need in order to be successful. All right, besties.